Have you ever wondered why some men seem slow to fall in love, almost reluctant, even when everything seems perfect on the surface? What if I told you that the moment a man truly opens his heart is not about passion, chase, or charm, but about one invisible psychological shift that changes everything? Men's emotional commitment often begins with a sense of safety, yet this is rarely understood in the way it truly matters. It's not about grand gestures or overwhelming displays of desire. It is quieter, subtler, and infinitely more profound. From a psychological perspective, especially when we consider the insights of Carl Jung and contemporary relational thinkers like Esther Perel, love cannot flourish in an environment where a man feels exposed, judged, or diminished. Emotional safety is the foundation upon which his heart can open, and without it, even the strongest attraction may remain superficial. This safety is not a blanket of physical security, though that matters too. It is primarily a sense that his inner world, his fears, his insecurities, and his deepest vulnerabilities can exist without being met with ridicule, criticism, or rejection. Men, just like women, carry within them wounds from childhood, from past relationships, and from societal expectations. These wounds create a protective armor, a shell that is difficult to penetrate. The moment a man feels that he can remove this armor without consequence, he begins to experience the possibility of love in a deeper, more authentic way. Emotional safety involves trust, but it is trust nuanced by understanding. A man must feel that his partner truly sees him, not just the version he presents on the surface or the role he is expected to play. He must feel that his thoughts, his dreams, even his quiet anxieties are acknowledged rather than dismissed. This is why many men hesitate to fall in love immediately. They are not searching for someone to merely admire them or to accept a curated version of themselves. They are seeking a space where their whole being is met with acceptance. It is in the quiet moments of genuine listening, of patient understanding, that emotional safety is communicated. When a partner allows him to speak freely, without interruption or judgment, and when she responds with empathy rather than criticism, she creates the invisible but essential environment where vulnerability is possible. Psychologically, men are often conditioned to suppress emotions that signal weakness, fear, sadness, doubt, because society equates emotional openness with vulnerability that could be exploited. Carl Jung's theories on the psyche suggest that these suppressed parts of the self are not easily revealed, but they carry enormous energy. They seek expression and connection. When a man senses that he is safe enough to let these hidden parts emerge, he experiences a subtle but profound liberation. He is no longer performing for acceptance. He is simply being, and in that being, the possibility of love arises organically. Love, in this sense, is not the pursuit of pleasure or the fulfillment of desire. It is the courageous willingness to be fully known and yet fully accepted. Emotional safety is also communicated through consistency and reliability. It is not enough to occasionally provide comfort or understanding. The man must sense that this safe space is enduring, that it exists even when he makes mistakes or reveals imperfections. He must trust that his partner's acceptance is not conditional on perfection or compliance. This steadiness allows him to lower his defenses gradually, without fear that exposing his inner self will lead to abandonment or conflict. Small gestures, a patient response to a difficult admission, a calm presence in moments of frustration, a refusal to exploit vulnerabilities, build this sense of security over time. Finally, the creation of emotional safety is reciprocal, not one-sided. While a man seeks safety, a relationship thrives when both partners feel secure enough to be themselves. By fostering an environment where he can reveal his inner world, a partner invites not just closeness, but intimacy that is psychologically transformative. Emotional safety becomes the threshold. It is the quiet, often invisible first step toward genuine love. The moment when a man's heart begins to consider the possibility of connection beyond attraction, beyond lust, beyond superficial charm. It is here, in the fertile ground of trust and acceptance, that love is given permission to take root and grow. Men do not fall in love simply because they are charmed, pursued, or impressed. They fall in love when they feel a profound sense of emotional safety, a rare and essential condition that allows the deepest parts of themselves to emerge without fear. This is the hidden, often overlooked truth about male love, a truth that is as quiet as it is powerful, and as subtle as it is transformative. Vulnerability is a door, not a demand, and understanding this distinction is essential when it comes to the psychology of men and love. Men do not fall in love simply because someone insists on their openness or pressures them to share. Instead, love emerges when they are gently invited to reveal themselves without fear of judgment. This invitation is subtle, quiet, and often invisible, yet it holds immense power. Men carry layers of defenses built over years of social conditioning and personal experiences which act as barriers to intimacy. These defenses are not flaws. They are mechanisms of protection designed to shield the inner self from pain, rejection, or emotional exposure. When a partner approaches these defenses with force, love becomes impossible. But when vulnerability is offered as a choice, a possibility rather than an obligation, the mind and heart find space to explore connection on a deeper level. The act of being vulnerable is not about weakness. It is about trust and courage. Men, like women, fear that revealing their true thoughts, emotions, and insecurities may make them appear inadequate, unworthy, or less masculine in the eyes of others. This fear is not trivial. It is deeply embedded in cultural narratives, personal history, and unconscious patterns. Carl Jung's understanding of the psyche reveals that people carry shadow aspects of themselves, hidden traits, and repressed feelings that they are often unaware of or reluctant to show. For a man, the willingness to expose these shadow elements is monumental, and it is only possible when the environment is non-judgmental, safe, and patient. A partner who respects this process does not rush or demand. She creates conditions where vulnerability can unfold naturally, like a flower opening in the warmth of sunlight. Inviting vulnerability requires sensitivity and attunement. It is expressed in small, deliberate ways, asking questions that matter, listening without interruption, acknowledging emotions without trying to fix them, and demonstrating that his inner world is valued rather than dismissed. These acts are not dramatic or forceful. They are gentle, consistent, and authentic. When a man experiences this kind of invitation, his defenses gradually soften, and he begins to explore aspects of himself that he may have hidden even from himself. It is not a single moment of revelation, but a process. A slow, nuanced dance where trust grows, emotional walls fall, and the possibility of love emerges organically. Importantly, vulnerability offered in this way is voluntary. A man must feel that revealing his inner self is his choice, not a requirement. When he perceives an expectation or pressure to be open, his instinct is to retreat, to protect the very parts that could create intimacy. But when he senses that sharing is optional, that he will be valued regardless of what he reveals or withholds, he begins to experiment with honesty. Each small step, each quiet confession, becomes a building block for a deeper connection. This dynamic creates a sense of agency and respect, which is inherently attractive. Men fall in love not because they are stripped bare, but because they are allowed to choose how and when to share themselves. Vulnerability also fosters reciprocity. When a man is invited to be open, he is more likely to extend the same trust and openness toward his partner. Emotional intimacy becomes mutual rather than one-sided. He begins to see love not as a transaction or a performance, but as a shared journey of authenticity, exploration, and mutual acceptance. This kind of intimacy is what transforms attraction into attachment, desire into commitment, and fleeting interest into enduring love. It is subtle, almost imperceptible at first, but its effects are profound. Ultimately, men do not fall in love because they are coerced into vulnerability or manipulated into exposure. They fall in love when they are gently, patiently, and authentically invited to reveal themselves. Vulnerability, framed as a door rather than a demand, allows a man to step into his deepest self with courage, knowing that he will be seen, understood, and accepted. It is in this quiet, voluntary opening that love truly begins to take root, and the heart, once guarded, finally begins to trust the possibility of connection. The unconscious plays a pivotal role in how men fall in love, often shaping feelings and decisions long before the conscious mind recognizes them. While attraction can appear straightforward on the surface, the deeper layers of a man's psyche are constantly at work, influencing how he perceives connection, intimacy, and love. Carl Jung's theories on the unconscious and archetypes shed profound light on this process, revealing that much of human behavior is guided by forces that exist below awareness. Men carry within them patterns, memories, and unresolved emotions from childhood, relationships, and cultural conditioning. These hidden elements often dictate who they are drawn to, how they respond to intimacy, and whether they can fully open their hearts. In many cases, men may not even realize why they feel a certain pull toward a partner or why they hesitate, because these forces operate silently, shaping emotional responses in subtle but powerful ways. The unconscious is also home to a man's deepest fears and desires. These are often unarticulated, unexamined, and sometimes contradictory. For example, a man may long for closeness and intimacy while simultaneously fearing vulnerability and rejection. Early experiences, such as the emotional availability of parents, past romantic disappointments, or societal messages about masculinity, feed into these unconscious scripts. When a man encounters a partner who resonates with these hidden patterns, he experiences a sense of recognition and safety that goes beyond logic or attraction. This resonance is rarely verbalized. It is felt in moments of quiet understanding, subtle mirroring, or unspoken emotional alignment. The unconscious recognizes compatibility in ways the conscious mind cannot immediately grasp, which is why some connections feel instantaneous yet inexplicable. Archetypes play a unique role in shaping love and attraction. According to Jungian psychology, archetypes are universal patterns and symbols embedded within the unconscious, influencing behavior and perception. A man may unconsciously seek qualities in a partner that reflect certain archetypal figures, a nurturing presence, a challenge that sparks growth, or a mirror of his own shadow self. These dynamics can create powerful emotional pull, often experienced as fascination, intrigue, or deep connection. The archetypal influence is subtle, and men may be unaware that they are responding to these unconscious templates. Yet these forces determine not just initial attraction, but also the conditions under which love can flourish. Love cannot emerge fully unless these unconscious alignments are present, because they form the psychological groundwork for trust, resonance, and emotional safety. Unconscious processes also dictate timing and readiness. A man may meet the right partner, experience initial attraction, and yet remain emotionally distant or hesitant. This is often because unresolved issues or unmet needs in his unconscious are still active. Only when these internal conflicts reach a state where he can engage without defense does he allow himself to fall in love. It is a quiet, invisible shift, a moment of inner alignment where past wounds no longer dominate his present responses. The unconscious has created a space for openness and receptivity, and love emerges not as a sudden decision, but as the natural consequence of psychological readiness. Understanding the unconscious also explains why external behaviors alone rarely trigger deep love. Compliments, attention, or gestures of affection may attract surface-level interest, but they cannot override unconscious patterns. A man may appear emotionally engaged, yet if his inner world does not feel recognized, safe, or resonant, he will remain guarded. Conversely, a partner who subtly aligns with his unconscious needs, who mirrors his emotional rhythms and respects his internal processes, can evoke a depth of connection that appears almost magical. This is why some men fall slowly, almost reluctantly, until that invisible psychological shift occurs. Ultimately, the unconscious is the hidden engine behind male love. Men do not fall in love simply because they are persuaded or convinced. They fall in love when the conditions within their psyche are met. When archetypes, past experiences, and unresolved patterns converge in a way that allows emotional openness. It is here, in this unseen landscape of the mind, that love begins to stir, quietly and irresistibly, guiding behavior and desire long before the conscious mind fully recognizes it. The unconscious is not a passive backdrop. It is the force that shapes the heart's readiness, the mind's receptivity, and the soul's capacity to connect deeply with another. Connection precedes romance, and understanding this principle is crucial to grasping why men fall in love the way they do. Attraction alone, physical or superficial charm, can spark interest, but it is rarely enough to create lasting emotional engagement. True love requires a deeper resonance, a subtle alignment of thoughts, emotions, and energy that forms the invisible bond between two people. For men, this kind of connection often acts as the catalyst that transforms admiration or desire into genuine attachment. It is not about grand declarations or passionate intensity. It is about a quiet, profound recognition that the other person sees, understands, and reflects parts of themselves in ways that feel meaningful. This shared emotional space becomes the foundation upon which love can grow. Men are particularly responsive to emotional mirroring and subtle forms of resonance. When a man feels that his partner intuitively understands his moods, values, or struggles, he experiences a sense of being seen that goes far beyond verbal affirmation. This does not require constant conversation or overt validation. Sometimes it is communicated in gestures, shared silences, or a tone of voice that conveys empathy and attunement. This form of connection speaks directly to a man's unconscious mind, reassuring him that he can exist authentically without fear of rejection or misunderstanding. Over time, these repeated experiences of alignment build trust, familiarity, and a sense of psychological safety, which in turn create fertile ground for love. Connection also involves shared emotional experiences that carry symbolic significance. It is in the way laughter is shared during a private joke, in the understanding of subtle cues that go unnoticed by others, or in moments of vulnerability that are met with acceptance rather than judgment. These experiences create an internal map of intimacy that feels unique to the two individuals involved. For men, these moments often trigger the realization that a relationship is more than convenience or desire. It is a meeting of minds and hearts that resonates on a deeper level. The accumulation of these experiences strengthens emotional investment and encourages him to explore feelings he may have previously kept guarded. Intellectual and emotional stimulation are also components of connection. Men are drawn to partners who engage their minds and evoke reflection, curiosity, and growth. When a woman challenges a man's perspectives gently, respects his individuality, and invites meaningful dialogue, she fosters a sense of partnership that transcends surface-level attraction. This dynamic creates a sense of mutual respect and admiration, reinforcing the emotional bond while also allowing autonomy. A man feels seen not only for his actions or accomplishments, but for his thoughts, his inner world, and the way he navigates it. This recognition deepens connection, which is essential for love to emerge authentically. Another crucial element is attunement to emotional rhythms. Men, like all humans, have fluctuating emotional states, and they are more likely to open their hearts when they sense consistency and responsiveness. A partner who is attuned to these rhythms, who recognizes when he needs space, reassurance, or engagement, creates a seamless form of connection that does not feel forced. This attunement allows him to lower defenses gradually, trusting that the relationship is a safe environment for emotional expression. The subtle interplay of understanding, empathy, and responsiveness becomes a continuous thread, weaving a tapestry of intimacy that encourages love to flourish. Ultimately, connection precedes romance because it lays the groundwork for the emotional and psychological conditions required for men to fall in love. Men do not fall in love purely because of desire, charm, or external gestures. They fall in love when they experience a profound sense of resonance, mutual understanding, and shared emotional reality. This connection is often invisible to the casual observer, quiet and subtle, yet it is the essential force that transforms interest into attachment, curiosity into devotion, and fleeting attraction into enduring love. It is the heartbeat beneath the surface of romance, the hidden architecture that allows love to take root and thrive. Autonomy and respect are magnetic forces in relationships, and they play a crucial role in why men fall in love. Men are often attracted to partners who honor their individuality while simultaneously inviting intimacy. Love does not flourish in environments where control, neediness, or dependency dominate. Instead, it grows when a man feels that his sense of self is acknowledged and valued. Autonomy is not distance or detachment. It is the ability to exist fully as oneself within a relationship, while maintaining mutual respect and connection. When a partner demonstrates respect for his boundaries, opinions, and choices, it communicates trust in his judgment and integrity. This trust allows him to engage deeply without fear of losing himself or being overwhelmed. Respect also signals equality. Men are drawn to relationships where their partner treats them as an equal, recognizing their strengths while acknowledging limitations without condescension. This balance creates a fertile space for emotional intimacy because it removes the need for performance or pretense. In such environments, a man can reveal his authentic self, including his vulnerabilities and insecurities, without worrying about judgment or loss of standing. When autonomy and respect coexist, they produce a paradoxical effect. Closeness is strengthened precisely because freedom is preserved. The relationship becomes a space of choice rather than obligation, and love emerges naturally from the sense of mutual admiration and safety. Autonomy encourages men to take responsibility for their emotions and actions. When a partner respects his individuality and refrains from controlling or micromanaging, he is more likely to engage actively and consciously in the relationship. He experiences love not as a passive exchange or duty, but as a deliberate act of participation. This engagement deepens emotional investment because it is chosen rather than coerced. Men are often more willing to open their hearts when they feel that the relationship honors their agency, allowing them to step forward into love on their own terms. It is in this space of freedom that emotional courage flourishes, creating conditions where intimacy and attachment can grow organically. Challenge and inspiration are also key aspects of autonomy and respect. Men are attracted to partners who stimulate them intellectually, emotionally, and even spiritually without undermining their self-esteem. A partner who inspires growth, curiosity, and reflection encourages a man to engage fully, creating a dynamic of mutual enrichment. This engagement goes beyond attraction or desire. It becomes a shared journey of exploration, self-discovery, and emotional resonance. Respecting his individuality while encouraging growth allows him to feel both understood and motivated, which is a powerful combination in cultivating lasting love. Importantly, autonomy and respect are communicated through consistent behavior. Words alone are insufficient. Actions must reflect understanding and acknowledgement of his individuality. Listening attentively, honoring his choices, and maintaining healthy boundaries are subtle but powerful demonstrations of these principles. Over time, these actions cultivate trust and psychological safety, creating an environment where vulnerability, intimacy, and emotional connection are possible. This combination of freedom and closeness is often what men need to allow their hearts to open fully. Ultimately, men are drawn to partners who balance closeness with autonomy and offer respect without control. They fall in love when they feel valued as independent individuals, when their choices and boundaries are honored, and when they are challenged and inspired in ways that affirm their sense of self. Autonomy and respect are not obstacles to intimacy. They are the invisible architecture that makes love possible, transforming attraction into deep emotional commitment. In this delicate interplay, men find both the freedom to be themselves and the security to surrender to love. The shift that allows a man to fall in love is often invisible, quiet, and almost imperceptible, yet it is one of the most powerful forces in human relationships. Men do not typically fall in love through grand gestures, passionate declarations, or even constant presence. They fall in love when a subtle psychological moment occurs, a moment that confirms, at a deep, often unconscious level, that it is safe, meaningful, and desirable to open their hearts. This moment is rarely verbalized or consciously noticed, but its impact is profound. It is the instant when a man feels chosen, understood, and emotionally aligned, and it can transform casual interest or attraction into lasting emotional investment. This shift often emerges through patterns of interaction that signal reliability, empathy, and attunement. When a man experiences repeated moments of resonance, small instances in which his feelings, thoughts, or vulnerabilities are acknowledged without judgment, he begins to perceive the relationship as a space of trust. Over time, these moments accumulate, creating an invisible architecture of emotional safety. He may not consciously label these experiences as love, yet they prime his psyche to accept emotional intimacy. It is not a single conversation or event that triggers this transformation. Rather, it is the gradual, almost imperceptible recognition that he can exist authentically without fear of rejection or diminishing. Recognition is central to this shift. Men fall in love when they sense that a partner truly sees them, not just the surface-level behaviors, roles, or achievements, but the full spectrum of their inner selves, including fears, doubts, and aspirations. This recognition is deeply validating, resonating with unconscious desires to be understood and accepted as they are. When a man experiences this, his defenses begin to relax, and he becomes increasingly willing to allow vulnerability. He is no longer performing, concealing, or guarding. He feels safe enough to be fully present. This is why many men seem hesitant or slow to fall in love. They are waiting for a signal, often subtle, that it is emotionally safe to open themselves. The shift is also marked by a sense of choice and agency. Love for a man is not about obligation, social expectation, or even rational decision-making. It is about the quiet realization that he wants to commit because he chooses to, not because he must. This internal alignment between desire, readiness, and trust creates the psychological permission for emotional surrender. He experiences the relationship as something he actively participates in rather than passively receives. This distinction is critical. Love cannot be coerced, rushed, or forced. It emerges when the man's internal world is aligned with the external reality of the relationship, when both trust and desire intersect seamlessly. Another dimension of this invisible shift is the recognition of emotional reciprocity. Men fall in love when they sense that their emotional openness is met with understanding, respect, and subtle attunement. This does not require grand statements of affection. It can be a quiet acknowledgement, a supportive gesture, or even the simple act of being emotionally present without judgment. Over time, these patterns signal to the unconscious mind that the relationship is a safe environment for vulnerability, creating conditions where love can flourish naturally. The man's heart opens not because of pressure, but because he perceives alignment between his inner needs and the external reality of the relationship. Ultimately, the shift that allows men to fall in love is almost invisible because it operates on a psychological and emotional level that is not always conscious. It is the culmination of repeated experiences of safety, recognition, and reciprocity, combined with the internal sense of choice and readiness. When this shift occurs, it is transformative. Attraction becomes attachment, interest becomes commitment, and curiosity becomes devotion. Love, in this context, is not an external event, but an internal awakening, a subtle yet undeniable moment in which the heart finally decides that it is safe, meaningful, and possible to open fully. In conclusion, men do not fall in love through passion, pursuit, or superficial attraction alone. True love emerges when a profound psychological and emotional foundation is in place, when they feel emotionally safe, invited to be vulnerable, recognized at a deep level, connected through resonance, respected as autonomous individuals, and subtly aligned with an invisible psychological shift that allows their hearts to open. These elements, often quiet and unseen, work together to create the conditions where love becomes possible. Understanding this reveals that male love is not a response to external effort or persuasion, but a delicate unfolding that happens when the heart senses trust, authenticity, and meaningful connection. It is in this subtle interplay of safety, recognition, autonomy, and resonance that men finally allow themselves to fully commit, and it is here that lasting, transformative love begins.